So that Haka dance just erupting all over the world really just makes me cry, honestly. It really touches my soul on like the deepest level possible. It really has me reflecting back on my purpose of merging ancient indigenous wisdom and modern psychology as a professional clinical therapist, as well as a psychic medium, tarot reader, and someone who practices ancient spiritual, practices with my clients. Now, this makes me reflect on back to when I was at Drexel University in my dance movement psychotherapy and counseling program, and they only accepted 17 people per year, and I was one of 17 people that was accepted into the program, one of 2 people that was accepted into the program worldwide, right? And so there was, and me being a psychic empath, some of my peers, I could feel how they really thought about me. I could feel how they really felt about me. I was definitely the person. I'm a very unique person, so I'm always going to be authentic and be myself. And to some people that may make them jealous or whatever may have you, but really what this video is about is I remember we had a class that we had to take. It was a cultural competency class, and in that class, we had to answer questions about our history and where we come from and who we are, and things like that. Like, do we know where our last names are from? Like, what is our cultural identity? And this particular class was very uncomfortable, and it hurt me. And, like I said, I'm one of 2 Black people in the class. I have one good friend, rest in peace, who was a foreign exchange student, and another one of my classmates who was also a multicultural person as well. But I had to sit in that class in front of a group of people who knew their ancestral lineage and things like that, and say, "Oh, my last name is Hextall, and although I have a lot of pride in this last name, my last name is from the Hextall plantation in South Carolina." So there were some Germans that came over to North Carolina actually. Some Germans who came over to North Carolina, and they were the Hextalls, and they enslaved 13 people who produced a bunch of children, a lot of children. And I'm one of the descendants on my father's side of the Hextall plantation. And, some of my ancestors were able to escape up north. So I'm a descendant of some of the ancestors who, are from, who made their way up here. And to sit in front of, that class and to say that, it was another type of experience as a therapist of color that a lot of people will never be able to relate to. Some people can, but a lot of people can't. So when I watched that Haka dance, when I watched her, the goddess, I don't know her name, but when I watched that goddess do that, it just touched my soul on such a deep level, especially being as though a lot of the past lives that I remember, I was a Native American woman. And if y'all are curious, I would love to tell y'all about those lifetimes. I remember a lot of my past lives. And I lived in Virginia, which is where I live now. I'm from Philly, but I always knew that I needed to live in Virginia. And now I know why. And it's so crazy because I actually did an ancestor meditation. I've always felt deeply connected to ancient indigenous and also obviously African spiritual practices and obviously ancient Kemetic, so Egyptian, as well, spiritual energies. It's just a lot, y'all. It's so much on my mind. But to make a long story short, if y'all are curious about any of this stuff, I would love to share my story and share any information that y'all need. But to make a long story short, I was the girl in my class that was just like, why are we calling everything a mental health diagnosis? Like this, I talk to my ancestors, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have dreams about the future all the time. I can feel your energy. I can read tarot. I'm not schizophrenic. I don't have a mental illness or anything like that. Like, why are we not taking into account the spiritual energy of people before we labeling them schizophrenic and stuff like that? And why are we not talking about, I don't want to say the word because it's on TikTok, but physical intimacy and stuff like that, when literally 80 to 90% of our clients have experienced some abuse in this area? Why are we not talking about shadow work? Why are we not talking about the aspects of the unconscious? Why are we not talking about the subconscious mind? Why are we just focusing on these things, on this DSM-5, on these diagnoses? Like, why are we not talking about the things that really matters? And so for me, I was definitely the person who I'm going to learn, but I'm also going to be very open and express my concerns. And I took it upon myself not only to obviously finish my degrees and get my clinical education, and obviously started a program at a creative arts psychotherapy and dance movement therapy program at a nursing home, as well as was a dance movement therapist at psych hospitals, and working in different areas, a behavioral specialist, consultant, mobile therapist. Right now, I am a creative arts psychotherapist and counselor for an outpatient program. And in addition to that, I have my own private practice as a professional tarot reader and psychic medium, merging my spiritual practices with my clinical background, as well as teaching my clients how to do candle magic, helping them to tap into their past lives, also doing mediumship to connect them to their deceased ancestors. And I've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people by just being authentic and practicing authentically. And when I tell you, I have so many clients who told me, like, I've been in therapy for 15 years, 10 years, this, that, and a third, and nothing has ever worked. I only needed a couple months with you and I'm good. And I'm like, period. A session, a couple of months with me. So this is my rant for the day. She really awakened my spirit even more. The divine feminine is rising. The divine mother is here, and I'm a messenger for the divine mother. And so I'm going to continue with my purpose. This it's interesting being a part of two worlds. In a way, I'm completely immersed in the mental health field, and in a way, I'm completely immersed in my spirituality. Like, I'm literally bridging the gap here, and I plan on, so many different things, but really making a space for us spiritual beings to have clinicians who can see them, and who can see the empaths instead of calling everybody schizophrenic. And also, I'll be honest, some of these people be needing, don't get me started, honey, because some people need exorcisms. Okay, so we'll get into that another time, honey, because I've seen my fair share of demons inside of people working with in the mental health field. So some of these issues are, a good deal of the issues are spiritual. Some of them are entities that are attached to people. Some of them, they have multiple souls in their bodies, and it's showing up as quote unquote multiple personality disorder, but they have different things inside of them. And as a seer, I can see them, I can talk to them, I can, whatever. It's just crazy. But anyway, y'all, thank you for listening to my story today. Let your voices be heard. That's my message for you. Let your voices be heard. If you have any questions or anything, please, comment, ask me a question. Be nice to me. I'll be nice to you. And thank you for watching.